Welcome to Ask Fear and Greed, where we take your questions and do our best to answer them. I'm Michael Thompson, and good afternoon, Sean Aylmer.
Good afternoon, Michael.
Sean, goodness me, today's question, wow. It has come in from Hayley. And Hayley says, "Hi, Sean and Michael, love the podcast." It's a great start, isn't it?
Yeah.
She then goes on to say, "I have been listening to you for some time now. It's always a great way to start my morning. Can you please explain what it means when you say markets have now priced in a 60 or 75% chance of the Fed cutting rates? Particularly, I want to understand, how do we know that markets have priced in something, and where does the percentage rate come from? Is it economists that provide that data, or is it reflected in the futures market? I hear markets talk about it all the time. This news has already been priced in, etc. So just curious as to how do we know, and how do we know the extent it has been priced in?" Sean, I have never been more glad that these questions are directed at you and not me, because I have no idea.
Yeah, no, I'll try on this. It's not particularly easy to understand. So a bond's yield, let's start at the very beginning. A bond's yield is the return an investor expects to receive each year over the term of its maturity. So it's over the whole period. This is what investors expect to receive. It's like an average over the term of the bond. Got to keep that in mind. Yields go up and down, but the yield in any moment of time is what investors think a bond will average between that moment of time and when it matures. Now, we normally talk about 3-year and 10-year government bonds. When we talk about markets pricing in a rate cut, which is the question, we're actually talking about very short-term bonds. And just to confuse things, a short-term bond is normally called a bill, believe it or not, just to highlight that they are short-term. But let's not confuse things too much. So when the bond market is pricing in a 50%, it's easier for the numbers, 50% chance of a rate cut, we are talking about very short-term bonds or bills, maybe 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months. A few things to keep in mind at this point. Let's talk about 3-month bills for this example. So where are we? We're August. So it matures in November. Whatever it is yielding today, the 6th of August, is what investors think they'll get for it on average over the next 3 months. We're also thinking in terms of the Reserve Bank cutting or lifting interest rates in 25 basis point increments. So with that in mind, if the Reserve Bank's benchmark rate is 4.35%, the 3-month bill is returning 4.22, 4.23%, let's say 4.225%. Investors are saying for the term of that 3 months, for the term of that bill, they expect to get 12.5 basis points less than the current benchmark rate, 4.35 minus the 4.225. So 12.5 basis points less than the benchmark rate over the next 3 months, right?
Oh, I am trying so hard to stay with you here, Sean. This is my absolute concentration face. And I haven't concentrated this hard since year 12.
Righto. So the efficient rate, 4.35. The 3-month bill, 4.225. Difference, the 12.5 is half of 25. We're talking about the Reserve Bank moving in 25 basis point increments. 12.5 and 25 is half. That's where the 50% chance comes into it. So what we're saying is if the 3-month November bill is returning 4.225%, what we're saying is that it's priced in a 50% chance of a 25 basis point rate cut by November. Michael, you don't look like you're looking with me on this.
No. I am. I think I'm with you. I've just got my fingers crossed that there's not a test at the
The funny thing, it is actually more complicated than that because yields involve secondary market trading and coupon rates. But for the purposes of what we're saying, we're going to ignore that stuff, right? Yeah, and there's no when we say a 50% chance, there's no guarantee it's going to happen. And in fact, what I should be saying, the market is inferring a 50% chance of the Reserve Bank cutting rates by November, because at the moment, the 3-month bill rate, you can buy at 4.35%. When it's yielding less than that, it means people have bought more of it because they think interest rates are going to fall. And so you get the difference between what the benchmark rate is and what it's yielding. Put that on top of 25 basis points, because that's how we think the Reserve Bank moves. And that kind of gives you your percentage chance. This might not be the most successful Ask Fear and Greed answer.
Did you follow that one, Hayley? Goodness me. Right now, I can actually hear Hayley's regret at sending in this question.
So, look, without putting anything technical, what it is, bond markets do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's what an investor is prepared to buy a bond at and get in return compared to what the benchmark rate is. And the difference, that's how we calculate the percentage chance.
Okay, that makes sense.
Figured all the maths. It's just the benchmark rate compared to the yield. The difference on 25 calculates the percentage chance.
That actually makes sense.
I should have said that up front.
No, I think we enjoyed the verbal mathematics. It was like you are actually doing an exam. And you know, those exams where they say you must show you're working? And you insisted on showing your every part of your working for that. Just in case you got the final answer wrong, you could still maybe get kind of, I don't know, a couple of points for the way that you worked it out.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I think we've done it. Hayley, let us know. Are you satisfied with the answer? You know, I know enough now that if someone was to ask me at a party, which I can't imagine what kind of party I'd be at where someone would come up and ask me this question. But I would have enough to BS my way out of that.
No, you wouldn't. You just send them to the website. So go to Fear and Greed.
Yeah, we did an Ask Fear and Greed on this a few weeks ago. Fascinating stuff. Make sure you got a quiet room and a pencil and just grin and bear it.
I'm walking away head down.
Goodness me. There we go. Hayley, thank you very much for sending in your question. It is an absolute cracker, and I don't think I've enjoyed an answer more. So thank you, Hayley. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Hayley. Thank you, Michael.
And remember, if you've got something that you'd like to know, then please send through your question on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, or do what Hayley did and send it in via fearandgreed.com.au. I'm Michael Thompson, and this is Ask Fear and Greed.